she's gonna break in
I
to
like
the
it.
theme park, and it's gonna be chaos.
That's genius. That would be
That's
so much
that's
better.
the movie.
That
And you
is the
just
movie,
and then you have to fix all the special effects. But yeah,
which I don't know if it could be done.
I think that'd be a much better movie.
You know what I loved about this film?
That
Jaws
it
1.
ended.
It was such a bore in the beginning. I felt like, again, it was dragging too much. Stakes were not high enough. The action was terrible. The death scenes were terrible. It's not good. People get killed, and Jaws does Jaws things. That's it.
That's pretty much the setup. Yeah, that's the movie. It's Jaws in SeaWorld.
Exactly. I mean, we could have done it in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Welcome to Hate to See It with Mike and Sid, the talk show where we bring you a new movie review each week. I'm Mike.
And I am Sid.
We are a small channel, so we'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, drop a comment with your feedback. We'd love to hear it, the positive and the negative. With that out of the way, Sid, how's it going this week?
I want to hear more about positives, but I'll take some negatives.
Well, we're always looking to improve.
That is true. Like Mr. B says, do 100 episodes, improve each one.
Do you happen to know how many episodes we've done since our return?
I forget. It was like 19 or 20.
Yeah, we're doing a good job.
Yeah, we are. We are. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, nothing really new to report.
Cool. Same here. But yeah, I agree, Mike. We are doing well. We've been consistent. I think I used AI to figure out when we'll get to episode 100, and I believe it was like April of next year. I'll have to
Next
double
year?
check. I think 2027.
Okay, we could do it. We could definitely do it.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. I'll be so proud if we can get to 100 episodes.
Hopefully, we can see some growth during that time. I'm sure we will.
Yes. So what are we reviewing this week, Mike?
All right, Sid. So, uh, it was a little bit of a slow week. We had one option of a movie in theaters to review, the drama, but we're actually going to review that next week. So we decided to fill in this week with another retro review, continue our Jaws journey. We reviewed Jaws 2 a few months back, and now we're going to review Jaws 3D, although not in 3D because it's not available in 3D. So we watched Jaws 3,
So when did this film come out? Do you know roughly?
1983.
So it's crazy to me to think that 3D existed back then.
Yeah, I do remember that it did exist. It was you would get these. I mean, obviously, I was not alive quite at that point, but there was 80s in the 80s. 3D did exist. It was far more rudimentary than what we have today. You would get these cardboard glasses with um, I don't know what you call it, but like some kind of plastic film in each eye, and one would be red, and I think one would be green. Do you remember those old glasses?
Now that you mention it, I kind of do. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, 3D has kind of ebbed and flowed, I guess, in pop culture. There's times where it's really popular, and then times where it just people get sick of it.
Very true. So let's get into our first segment. So this week we're snipping. We're skipping snacks. We're skipping trailers. We're going straight into our 60-second setup. So I know last week you did a really good job. This week I'm going to kick it off.
All right, let's hear it.
And it has to be under 60 seconds. If it's not, it's a default. It's not good.
Okay,
We can't use it.
I will cut you off at 60 seconds.
Cut me off. It's like one bite. Everyone knows the rules. But what else was I going to say really quick? So Jaws is really popular with our friends. I think we've talked about that before. That's why we're reviewing these films. It may not be very popular now, but it doesn't matter. We want to give back to our loyal friends and viewers.
Well, it's a permanent fixture in pop culture, even though, it might not be as much in the zeitgeist. I mean, it's always going to be part of pop culture.
All right, so let's go. I think we're well under 60-second, or I hope so. But anyways, what's going on is Jaws has now made a trip to SeaWorld, which is kind of puzzling. Like, why did SeaWorld even agree to this? So
I was wondering the same thing.
So
Sorry.
that kind of surprised me. I was like, what? They agreed to do a Jaws movie? Like, what could go wrong? But anyway, it's SeaWorld. Jaws decides to get a free pass into that world. And then also, which I don't know if it's good or bad, but we have the son of the famous character from the original Jaws movie. I guess he was a sheriff, Mike Brody.
The
Um,
son's name is Mike Brody.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mike. Yeah, and then the father was Chief Brody. I forget his real name, but anyway, his father had a really traumatic incident with the Jaws in the original movie. So the son's like, let me get in some trouble as well. Let me go work in a place that has water and ocean and seas. So he starts
Well,
working.
yeah.
You want to say
Sorry.
something?
Well, he was also involved in Jaws too. The son was.
That's true,
Yeah.
but he can't get away from these sharks.
Yeah.
Again, if you wanted to get away from sharks, I think you would
All
go
right. That's
somewhere.
60 seconds.
Oh, you truly hate to
I was
see
cutting
it.
you off.
You
Continue.
hate to see
I was
it.
cutting you off. You can keep going.
So SeaWorld, it's got these underground tunnels and all this chaos, which is never a good idea. But basically, what happens is this shark gets trapped in the tunnels, chaos ensures. It's not good. People get killed, and Jaws does Jaws things. So that's it.
That's pretty much the setup. Yeah, that's the movie. It's
I-
Jaws in SeaWorld.
exactly. I mean, we could have done it in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Two-word Jaws or three-word Jaws in SeaWorld.
It is a good question. Why would SeaWorld like legal would never approve these days, right? It's like
No, no.
you want your brand to like be associated with shark attacks? Are you
Uh,
kidding me? You want people to come to your theme park and like swim in the
Exactly.
water and stuff. What are you doing?
These
Doesn't make
movies were meant to like scare people, right? It was
like
like
it doesn't make any sense.
no, it does not.
I
It
guess
does
they're
not.
following the logic like any press. There's no such thing as bad press. I guess
I
it's
guess
wild though.
it is wild. So let's
All
get into
right. That's the 60-second setup.
yep.
Why don't we get into the next segment? Initial thoughts.
Let's go for it. What were your initial thoughts, Mike?
All right. So right before we recorded, friend of the show, Steve, texted us that I forget exactly what he said, but he said, there's a good movie hiding in here. And I had very similar thoughts while I was watching this movie, which I just watched a few hours ago. I was going to say that there's a shell of a good movie here, but the shell is empty. Uh, so the movie, the way that it is set up, it inherently intrigues you, like a shark on the loose in a water park. It's a pretty cool idea, but the movie just falters in so many ways. They bring back the Brody sons, Mike and Sean, and I don't know if you remember, like Jaws 2, they were heavily featured. And our one of our biggest problems with Jaws 2 is we just didn't like the kids.
Yes, we
We were not
didn't.
invested. So those are the characters they bring back from the previous. Those are the only characters they bring back.
Yep. But
So
different actors.
different
They're
actors.
no they're no
Dennis
longer
Quaid.
kids.
Dennis
Yes.
Quaid, this is not one of his great performances. It is serviceable, I would say,
And but
um,
it was early in his career too.
early in his career. But the characters, I didn't find myself caring about any of them in particular. Um, None of them I found myself rooting for, really. The movie lacks conflict besides the obvious man versus beast conflict, but a lot of times these movies have other conflicts between the characters, or there might be some kind of mission or goal that they're trying to achieve. Now, the movie has I'll use the word again, a shell of some of these elements, or maybe a kernel, but never follows through on these elements. Uh, I mean, the special effects in this movie are terrible. I mean, they are laughably bad. And the fact that this movie was designed as a 3D movie, I think just fatally hurts this movie. It's just, uh, I don't think it was, they were able to salvage this movie and transform it into a 2D home experience. So those are
And when you
kind of,
think of 3D, like Jaws would not be one of the top of your lists, on your top of your lists, right? Like what there's so many better utilization of 3D in movies that you can think of than like a shark movie, in my opinion.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna get into that more in another segment. I do have some more to say about that, but those are just kind of my initial thoughts.
Cool. Well, you didn't acknowledge what I was saying, but cool, we'll get there.
I
Like you
did
said.
acknowledge what you're saying with the
I guess,
3D.
I guess, I guess.
I said I'm
Yeah.
gonna talk about it in another segment.
All right. It was like nonchalant. It
Okay.
was good. No complaints. So my initial thoughts,
Yeah,
like,
really.
why did we even need this movie? Those are my initial thoughts.
Um,
Right? I guess did the second one make a lot of money? Did it?
I made enough.
I guess it made enough. But like you said, I was not invested either. My initial thoughts were like, yes, like our friend Steve was saying, you could potentially see there's elements to make it a better film. But SeaWorld, I don't like where they could do something else, like an actual water theme park. Because you
Hmm.
said that word, you said it like a water theme park. Because it seemed like there wasn't a lot of people swimming, right? It was more so because in SeaWorld, you don't really go swimming.
What? Yeah, I've only been to SeaWorld once in my life, and I was a young kid. So I don't remember that either. But in this movie, there was like a beach section, and there were people swimming.
But was there a lot of people? Maybe
Yeah,
I'm.
at the end of the movie, yeah, there were a lot of people. They had to. There's a scene where Dennis Quaid comes to the beach and is like getting everyone out of yelling at everyone to
Mm.
get out of the water.
But I'm just thinking,
And
like,
then there's also those boats that Sean is in one of those bunk boats. So yeah,
yeah,
there were people in the water for sure.
but I would have appreciated if it was like an actual theme park.
I
Where
mean, it is a theme park. There were rides, there were attractions. I don't know what I don't really know what you're getting at there.
because to me, SeaWorld, you just go sit down and you watch the Free Willy and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
Uh, I just maybe it just didn't exist back then, or maybe it's never existed. I just wanted more people in water throughout the film, like just more emphasis on like the guests at the resort or something like that. More deaths, more things happening, not a contained, because it was contained in a certain area of like the lagoon or something, right?
yeah, the lagoon. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that kind of bothered me.
Okay. Any other initial thoughts?
No, I just don't know why it existed.
Well, it existed to make money, and I don't think it did particularly well, but I'm not really sure actually. So why don't we get on to the next segment? Hate to see it.
Let's do it. You want to go first, or shall I?
I'll go first, because you said I gave you or disregarded your answer, or I gave you a nonchalant answer, but you were talking about like the 3D elements and
Yes.
why this movie, and that's my first hate to see it is that there's 3D remnants. I call them 3D remnants in this movie. Even though we don't get to appreciate the 3D, you could tell that this movie was made for 3D. There's all sorts of objects that are put in front in the center of the frame that you could tell are meant to pop out, right? And a lot of them just they look ridiculous. It looks like terrible prop work. It looks like uh a bunch of high schoolers like just went through their garage and like found stuff and like that's what they use as the props for some of this stuff. The very opening scene of the movie, you're watching it's like a first person perspective of the shark they like on the hunt, and I'm thinking to myself like this is just the middle of the ocean, there's no people, like the Jaws theme or like a variant of the Jaws theme is playing, so it's most meant to be tense, meant to be scary. I'm like, but there's no people, like why would you possibly be scared? Like what's the tension, what's the drama here? Then there's like some fish like at the bottom, and like the shark like eats half of one of the fish and then the other half like starts flying right in front of the camera, so it's supposed to be a 3D effect. That was the only purpose. It was all in service of the 3D. You're there a lot of the movie is all in service of the 3D without trying to think of would this actually make sense in the movie, would this actually be good for the movie other than the 3D, and that's one of the big downsides of this movie. The other aspect with the 3D is I guess they had to like de they had to 2Dify this movie. And there are many scenes where it especially occurs on the sides of the frame where it's blurry. Like especially human characters are blurry. It looks like they're out of focus. Did you notice that in many scenes in the movie?
Yeah, and what's kind of bizarre to me, Mike,
Distracting.
it was very distracting. It wasn't shot well. But what's really interesting is I completely forgot it was a 3D movie till the
Hmm.
last scene
Oh yeah.
when the tooth comes flying out or
Oh,
something.
I was noticing it throughout the movie.
So then I was like, wait, I was like, this is terrible. What is this?
Yeah.
And then I realized, wait, this is 3D.
Yeah,
So like,
I was noticing it throughout the movie, and it was actually really bothering me because it's just once you notice it the first time, you notice it every time. It's like, oh, that's meant to be a 3D effect, and some of them were just they. I mean, all of them were terrible.
yeah, but no, I had trouble with a lot of the imagery throughout the film. Like it was tough to see.
So that's my first hate to see it.
All right, good. And that's kind of an obvious one. That's kind of one that people admit right away, right? That wasn't
Oh
well
yeah,
shot.
yeah.
But good. It's good. It's good to expand on that. So what I hated was I just felt like they were setting up the film for way too long. There was so much
Mhm.
setup that I did not need. It's not first of all, this is not a groundbreaking story. It's a shark killing people, right? I didn't need all this setup in the beginning. It just felt like the stakes weren't high enough. It just was dragging on. I just wanted to see a shark killing people. Again, to me, just like it just dragged on for too long. It was just like so much backstory I did not need. And to be honest, I completely forgot that they were related to the characters in the first and the second one. When did they even bring that up? Did they bring it up early? Like it
Yeah.
went right over my head. So even though they're setting this up, like I feel like they didn't really do a good job of setting it up because it really went over my head. It took me a while to even realize they were part of the Brody family. Like if you're gonna have those characters reoccurring again, give us a bigger story. Like it would have been better if they had said that the father passed away due to a shark attack, something that happened off scene, and now these sons are trying to avenge their father. They're trying to learn more about sharks to prevent shark attacks. Like that would have been more enjoyable story or bigger stakes, in my opinion.
Well, I have a whole idea about how to rewrite this movie. I do agree with you that, yeah, the stakes were not big enough, other than obviously the survival. I mean, those are high stakes,
Yeah,
but there needs to be more than that. And like as I mentioned before, um, and yeah, I agree with you. I did know it was the Brodies. I mean, they do. I mean, I remembered the names, and they say certain things that they were in Amity and stuff. They had encounters with the sharks, and that they were brothers. So I did know that. Um, I mean, are you done with your hate to
yeah.
see it?
My
So yeah,
first one, yeah,
yeah. So I do agree with you, and that really leads right into my second hate to see it, which is the Brodies. I don't think you should even have had them in this movie
correct.
because we didn't like them in the prior movie. This movie is a whole change of setting. I mean, when in long-running franchises, it's very common for eventually you just do a cast reboot. You don't, it's a soft reboot, right?
Yep.
You don't reset the canon, you just introduce all new characters. That would have been a much better approach. It just it's just plus it just seems so far-fetched that the Brodies would move. I, I think the movie was in Florida. Is
Yeah, it
that
was
right?
Florida.
It's
Yep.
Florida. So it's like, okay, they moved to Florida and then they get involved in another major great white shark attack. It's
Exactly.
like, what? Like it's just so far-fetched. I just would have not. You could still keep Dennis Quaid in the movie. Just you could have basically played the same character, but just don't make him a Brody.
Yeah,
That's
that was so troubling, Mike. Because
yeah.
again, like I said earlier, like they had this traumatic experiences growing up, and then they go somewhere where there's water. Like they should went for a ski resort, right? You're not gonna find a great white shark at a ski resort.
Mhm.
But man, that's a movie for another day.
Do you have any other hate to
Yeah,
see?
I just hated the kills.
Oh, the kills were terrible.
Just again, when you see a movie like this, maybe I don't know about everyone, but when I see like a Jurassic Park or a Jaws film, I'm all about the kills. I want to see innovative ways of killing people so that you're constantly at fear and you're constantly thinking what's going to happen next. How are they going to top the next kill? But like these kills, like, you can even tell if like I had no idea if someone was dying or not. Like I'm like, wait, did Jaws kill him? Maybe didn't kill him. Maybe he survived. Is he dead? Is he injured? It just seemed like it wasn't really clear what was going on with these
Yeah,
death scenes.
it wasn't clear, and they just the special effects were terrible.
Terrible.
I mean, they looked ridiculous. The shark looked terrible, and they kept on showing the shark. Like the shark is on the screen so much, and the shark looks terrible. Like
It's huge too, right? It's
it's
like,
huge, 35 feet long. Spielberg has talked about with the first movie. The idea was his idea was to not show the shark, right?
yep.
It is only in a few scenes for limited time in that movie, and that makes it scarier, right?
It's
And
like the
this,
movie Signs, right? Remember Signs? Like you don't see the aliens
you just
for the
see it
longest
run
time.
by that one quick scene, remember? And
Exactly,
that
because
was
it
actually
builds.
really scary.
It builds suspense. You
Yep,
want that. You want that element where like you're not given the full meal right away.
yep, yep. I will say that the first death in the movie, the character's name is Shelby. He's the one who's like trying to close the gate. The gate gets jammed because the shark
Yep.
comes in. Um, they're showing some scenes underwater. You know, you're seeing his legs dangling, and those scenes can be scary. And there are a couple moments where there's like a noise, and he turns around, and there's just like fish behind him, and you know he's being hunted. And but
Yes.
there's a couple fake outs. before he actually gets killed. And that was actually good. That was building the
Yeah.
tension. But then when he actually gets killed, it just looks ridiculous.
And sometimes when Jaws was killing people, it looked like he didn't want to do it. It looked like he was like, should I do it? Like he wasn't like really hunting them. Like not hunting, like yeah, hunting, right? Like it was like very slow and like
Yeah, like a lot of times he wasn't even moving that fast. I mean, I mean,
it seems like you could outsmart him.
I'm gonna mention another hate to see it that I wasn't originally gonna mention, if that's
That's
all right.
fine.
The dolphins.
Oh,
I
really?
hated the dolphins. They made these like sentient dolphins, right? The scene where they take that mini submarine down to that boat, and the dolphins are like trying to warn them of the shark, right?
Yeah.
Like they make them into like human like characters, and then they ride the dolphins to escape. And there's that ridiculous scene at the end where the dolphins like jump up into the air. It's like, oh, come on, this is so corny.
But I kind of liked them. It was corny, but at least there's characters in the film that did something positive.
Yeah, I guess that's
Right?
true.
They did it more than the humans, I felt like.
Yeah, I guess you could say that the dolphins were better characters than the humans.
All right, so let's go and stuff that we actually loved. I'll go first.
Okay.
You know what I loved about this film?
That it
Jaws one.
ended?
That's but Jaws one. And what I mean by that is like
Okay.
after watching the second and third one, it made me really appreciate how much of a masterclass the first one is.
Oh, Jaws, you mean Jaws 1, like the
One,
first movie. Okay.
exactly.
Okay. All
So
right.
that's what I loved about this film because sometimes like you go through some bad X's and then you're like, you know what, the first X was really good. These other ones are pretty shitty. Let me go back to this original girl.
hmm
So that's why like it made me more fond of the original because these were just so god awful. I really loved the original film.
What I gotta say is you mentioned that the movie it took too long to get going,
Yeah.
and I do agree with you. But I would say like for the first half of the movie or so, I was fine. It didn't truly get terrible for me until like the end of the movie, the last third of the movie, and I was like, I felt like the first half of the movie was kind of mediocre. I was like, I was actually thinking, I've heard how terrible this movie is, and this movie is certainly not good, but it's not terrible. It's kind of mid, but then it gets
But
really bad towards the end.
but it seemed like the beginning of the movie was a different film, in my opinion.
It felt somewhat similar to Jaws 2, I thought, the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
There's more focus on the younger characters. Uh, I liked the scene, the openings, one of the earlier scenes with the water skiers. It just looked good on screen. Reminded me of some of the scenes in Jaws 2. Yeah, so that kind of stuff I thought was fairly well done.
Well, so I mean that was a good segue. That was actually the thing that you loved. Or
So
were you
yeah,
just adding
so
to
actually, what I love, it's sort of related, but what I was gonna say, what I loved is I actually love the premise of the movie. I do like the idea of changing the setting, going somewhere different, because I think it was time. We had done, the shark attack in Amity. We'd done it twice. Let's go somewhere else and let's do it in a theme park. I thought it was kind of a cool idea, and the movies had already, for various reasons, reminded me of the Jurassic Park franchise. I think it's hard not to think of Jurassic Park when you think of these movies for various reasons. And now putting in a theme park, it makes it even more like Jurassic Park. So it's like, okay, the premise I was on board with, but they just didn't deliver on what they could have done with the premise.
I think it kind of helped me. I really struggled in the beginning talking about like the theme park element, like the
Yeah.
Sea World. I guess I wanted a more like living theme park like Jurassic Park. Like
Okay.
like different exhibits, more of that, like different sections. Even though we didn't like the kids, but more, I wanted more kids involved. So like you're afraid about these kids.
Yeah.
I wanted more of a Jurassic Park feel to it.
See, for me, I feel like I did get that because you have the underground area where um there's they're in like a inside an aquarium, right? There's the fish on
Yeah,
either side. So you have that, those exhibits, you have the boat
I
ride,
guess yeah, maybe I'm
you
wrong.
have the beach, and I know that there was some kind of dolphin show. Yeah, and there was the water ski show. Maybe they could have shown one or two other more rides or attractions, but I thought I got the vibe that it was a
But
theme
was
park.
there a lot of opportunity for people to get killed?
Um,
That's like I just didn't know like there's gonna be a lot
well,
of
I mean, you had a group of 40 people that were trapped underwater, like
yeah,
underwater.
yeah. But at the end of the film, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So
See,
what? So
so yeah, I think they kind of, I don't know.
but there was never chaos. I mean, at the end when they were trapped, there was chaos. It
Yeah.
wasn't like in Jurassic Park when like shit hits the fan, everyone's panicking, all the shit's happening. Like you're like, shit, is the shark gonna find us? Is this gonna happen?
You have
Like I
to
just
keep in
want
mind though, Jurassic Park, this happens all before they even open the park, right? So there's only a
to,
few
yeah.
people there.
But in the newer ones they have,
Yeah, in Jurassic World, yeah.
yeah. I wanted more of a Jurassic World feeling.
Okay.
All right, but we should
Maybe they'll make like a I don't know a remake or a Jaws World movie. Jaws World.
Jaws World exactly. You give me Jaws World, I'll sign up.
Yeah.
So one thing I liked. So when I think about Jaws, is I think about that tunnel scene. Like that scene has been stuck in my head for such a long time because it's one of the scenes I've always remembered. And
Okay.
I forgot which film it was in. I always knew when I think of Jaws, I think of this tunnel where the shark breaks through it. So
Hmm.
when I watched the second movie, it didn't come up. I was like, shit, am I misremembering? Like, when is this going to happen? So when I saw the tunnels, I'm like, yes, this is one of my favorite childhood movies, even though it was less of an impact now. It was much cooler when I was a kid. So I really remember it. So it was cool to re-see that scene again. And then the grenade scene at the end. Like, that was something I remembered as well
So the tunnel scene, are you referring to um
when he breaks the tunnel.
the when there are people like underwater, like there
Yes.
are guests there and they get trapped in that corridor.
No, I
He
feel
like the shark rams into it.
exactly. Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So, so that was a scene like I remember as a little kid.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, like it just the scene was one of the few scenes I remember from Jaws. Whenever I think of Jaws, I think of that scene, but I forgot which movie it was in. But I was glad to find out it was in the third film.
Yeah, it's a cool idea for a scene.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if it was particularly well executed though.
correct. It wasn't well executed as a kid. I felt like it was better executed, but re-seeing it, it just brought back a lot of memories.
Um, I don't have any other love to see it, Stu. There's not much to love
No,
about this movie.
no, there isn't.
All right, should we move on to casting what ifs?
I'm trying to think. Should we do this segment?
Oh, I have a lot to say in this
Oh, really?
segment.
All right, let's
Yeah.
do it. I guess we're doing it. You
All
go
right.
first.
So you got to allow me a little liberty here. So I'm actually going to introduce two actors into the movie, not instead of recasting
Okay.
characters. So I'm gonna bring back Roy Scheider from Jaws 1 and Jaws 2, Martin Brody. He's only gonna have a cameo in this movie. All right.
Wait, does he come back in a second? No, right?
He's the main character in
Oh,
the
yeah, he's
second
the
one
main
as
character. That's right.
well.
That's right. Yeah.
So he's only gonna have a cameo. And then I'm gonna bring back Richard Dreyfuss. He's gonna be the main character in Jaws 3 for me. And here's my idea for this movie. Now, my understanding is Roy Scheider after Jaws 2, he didn't want to do a sequel again. And Richard Dreyfuss, I believe, was pissed off at Universal. He didn't think he got paid enough for the first movie. Um, if you know anything about this, about why Dreyfuss never appeared in any other Jaws sequels, let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear more about that. But, I'm going to pretend there's no barriers to him appearing in this movie. So here's my idea. One thing we didn't talk about is in the middle of the movie, they capture this baby shark, this baby great
Yep.
white, which you were supposed to think is the main threat, even though it's obviously not the main threat because it's this tiny shark. Um, and it's going to be like an attraction at the grand opening. I like that idea, but then the shark just dies like
Dies.
for no reason. It's like what? That was like a total waste of time. I would have put this. I would have still included this story. I would have put this at the beginning of the movie. And here's my idea. I mentioned you need more conflict between the characters in a movie like this. So I want there to be more conflict between Mike Brody and the manager of the park, played by, I believe the actor's name is Louis Gossett, who's a really good actor, actually, but he was not well utilized in this movie. I mean, he's an Academy Award winning actor, and his talents were wasted in this movie. So here's the conflict.
He was kind of funny though.
He was kind of funny. He's a great actor.
Yeah,
He's very anxious about the opening of this park, and he gets in my version of this movie, he gets a report from some analyst that like the pre-sales tickets are not looking good. It's going to be a bust. So um, he, Mike, who's like his engineer who designed the park, he has like a very stern conversation with him. He's like, "Your ass is on the line. This is all on you. If this doesn't go well, I'm going to make sure you never work again. You're going to be the only job you're going to get is as a janitor or something like that." So Mike comes up with this idea that they're going to capture a great white, and they're going to it's going to be an attraction at the park. But then his girlfriend, Kay, who's the marine biologist, she doesn't want anything to do with it. She, maybe she has ethical objections or safety objections.
which would be good infections.
But his boss, the manager, loves the idea and says, you have to make this happen. So Mike comes up with the idea he's going to call his dad. And that's going to be the Roy Scheider cameo. And he's going to ask like, "Hey, are you still friends with Hooper from Dreyfus from the first movie?" And he's going to say like, "Yes, and I really need your help." So um, Martin Brody is going to convince Hooper to take this job as a marine biologist at SeaWorld, and he's going to capture a great white to be the attraction in the park. And he's going to pull it off successfully. But this also creates conflict between Brody and his girlfriend because he went around her. And now she's the subordinate to Dreyfus, to
Mm,
Hooper. And then, so they're going to, this baby great white is going to be the main attraction. But then Mama Great White is really pissed off that they captured her baby, and she's going to break in
I
to
like
the
it.
theme park, and it's going to be chaos.
That's genius. That would have been so much
That's the
better.
movie.
That
And you
is the
just
movie,
and then you have to fix all the special effects. But yeah,
which I don't know if it could be done.
I think that'd be a much better movie.
Yeah, give rid of the
What
3D.
if?
Let's do this. What if?
I want to hear what you guys think about my idea, if you think that would work.
I think it's one of your best ideas yet, Mike.
All right.
Cool. And I don't have anyone to really replace.
No what ifs? All
No
right.
what ifs.
That's fine.
Well, or I guess the only what if would have been like, what if they just didn't make this film?
Yeah. Oh, and I had also mentioned to you, which I kind of just soft debuted. I think what if should just be, it doesn't have to, it could be casting or it could be anything. It could be, what would you change in the movie? How would you rewrite it? Would you have a different composer? Would you have a different director? Whatever. It could be what if you can
Okay.
expand the idea, but
Let's see how it
just
goes.
see how it goes.
I'm open to it.
All right, Sid, I guess that means it's time for the verdict.
It is time. And I truly hated to see this film, Mike.
Oh, wow.
Truly. It was such a bore in the beginning. I felt like, again, it was dragging too much. Stakes were not high enough. The action was terrible. The death scenes were terrible. The 3D was terrible. So much so that I didn't even know it was 3D until the end of the film. I'm going to give it, just because I like Jaws, I'm going to give it 1 star.
Okay, okay. I think that would put it into that would put it into the truly hate to see it
Oh, yeah.
category, 1 star. All right.
And that's me being generous.
Okay. I'm actually gonna not put it in the truly hate. I'm gonna say I hate to see it, but I'm gonna go 1.5 stars, a little higher than you. Um,
Even though you didn't have much that you loved about it.
no, but for like half the movie, I was like just kind of moderately entertained, and I was waiting for it to get really bad. And it truly gets really bad at the end. I mean, the final confrontation is so absurd where the great white like
Breaks through.
breaks through into this area where Kay and Mike are, and Kay is like about to get eaten, and Mike has to rescue her, and there's this grenade in the great white's mouth from the guy that he had eaten, which we didn't even mention. That death was just so ridiculous. It shows the inside of the great white's body, and it shows him getting eaten, and it's so fake. It
It's
looks
terrible.
so bad.
First he swallows him, right? Somehow.
Right. Yeah.
And then you don't really even see him bite him.
It's just he gets smashed, I guess.
I don't know. It was
It,
bizarre.
it looked terrible. But anyway, so there's this grenade that Mike is going to have to set off to blow up the Great White. And somehow he has the perfect tool that he needs to
to pull and explode it
you would need a rod, like a long rod, so that would reach into the
inside the
mouth.
mouth.
But he also needs the rod to have a hook that goes
Yep.
sideways so he can get it through the pinhole. And I don't know. He just happens to have that tool at the exact time that he needs that. Maybe the movies, maybe I should rewatch that scene and see why he has the exact tool that he needs to do the exact thing that he needs to do with a grenade at that time. To me, it struck me as ridiculous. Plus, the shark is moving like crazy, and it takes him like 5 attempts to do it. It's like, are you
Yes,
kidding me?
but
Like that's ridiculously difficult.
very difficult. But you know what? I felt like the shark was in slow motion the whole time. It was just this fat shark, right? I don't know, Mike.
And then leading up to that, when the shark breaks through and they're all like, oh, and they slow motion,
yeah,
oh, and then and the shark the shark isn't even moving when it's crashing
correct.
into the glass. It looks so bad.
That scene was terrible.
So I mean that's where the movie
It's just
really went off. I mean the movie went off the rails before that, but that was just it's unforgivable. So I'm gonna give it 1.5 stars. Hate to see it.
all right. What a dumpster fire.
So that's our verdict for Jaws 3.
You think we'll get to the fourth one?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to it.
Michael Caine is in it, right?
Michael Caine, yeah, that was a bad British accent, but yes, he is in it.
Yeah, he talks
As far as I
about
understand. Have you seen it before?
yes, he talks about how I think he's never seen it, but it's paid him a lot of money.
Yeah, he said it bought him a house or something like that.
So you love to see that.
So we will definitely get to that at some point.
And then next week we'll get to the drama.
So next week is the drama with Robert Pattinson and Zendaya. That'll be a back to our normal. It's gonna come out on our normal release day of Wednesday, and it'll be a current-ish movie, and then
Yes.
we'll be back on our normal routine. So
Cool. I don't know about you. Do you like reviewing older films or new films?
I like doing both, but I think our channel should continue to focus on newer films.
Yeah, no, I like newer films, but you do a good job talking about old films. Like it's really challenging me to watch older films. I
Oh,
don't know why.
you think so?
Yeah, but you did a really good job today.
All right, I appreciate that, Sid.
Good stuff. Alrighty. Till next time.
All right, until next time, take care, guys. Bye.